Hey everyone, it's Teresa and I've got a really fun video with a really great collab with some friends I'm going to tell you more about in a minute. I'm starting off with one of these really cute sleds. I said it right. A lot of times I call it a sleigh. If I do, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. But I taped it off and I went ahead and painted it in Nantucket blue. I actually had started off, I painted it in Shadow Sage, which is a really light green, and I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't loving it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to repaint it. And then I'm taking the wood tint in walnut and I did a full coat all around the wood areas and then kind of did a dry brushing-ish on the actual sled. See, I tried the sled part itself. I thought I filmed it and apparently I did not. My apologies. It's really easy though. You just brush it on, right? You brush it where you want it. Now I've got my transfer from Chocateur and this is one of their new Christmas ones. So cute. I already did the fuzzing of it and I've got it gotten it positioned, and I'm going to use a few different paste colors on this. I am going to use some white, storm, and frost. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. Is it called frost? I can't recall. Let me look real quick. It is called Shimmer Frost. There we go. It's got a little glimmery glitziness to it, you know. Just had to add in a little bit of that, you know. I'm basically going to dab it all over my transfer because we are doing a technique called Hot Mess. What it's going to do is it's going to give us kind of like this almost vintagey look, almost. Once you've gotten it all down, I realized I didn't want the S on the end. It says white silver winters or something. So anyways, you take your finger and you just smudge it all over the place is basically what you're going to do. It's really technical, but it's going to be a really cool effect though. I really like the way it ends up looking. So depending on how much you smudge it and how much it ends up blending in, it'll look a little different every time. And then you take your squeegee and you're just going to pull off all of the excess paste. Don't worry, I did end up using a little bit that I pulled off, so I hate wasting things. But here you go. You can get kind of an idea. It looks really pretty though. Tell me you don't love that. I love how it turned out. I might have to hold on to this one for myself. Now we have this wood tree. It is from Hobby Lobby. I'm pretty sure I've seen it again this year. I got it last year though, and I paint the whole thing in Shadow Sage, and it was a pain in the butt to paint all of those little curly squiggly things. My goodness, it was a pain. So then I'm going to take some collage paper from Tim Holtz, and I'm going to just start to kind of get an idea of where everything's going to go, and I'm going to Mod Podge it down. You just obviously put your Mod Podge down, and then you're going to put down your paper. It's pretty thin, but it's weird. It's not thin like tissue paper, like it rips within really easily, but it's super thin. I don't know how else to explain it. Anyways, this project was like my problem child. You know, you always have one where it's like, it just doesn't want to work with you. It doesn't want to come out the way you want it to. It does, you know, it's a beast. So anyways, this one I am going to just do the paper all the way down. Now, it was probably wide enough where I could have gone like one strip from top to bottom, but I thought that would look a little weird because it's obvious like this is the direction that it's meant to be. And you'll notice I did not make it wide enough, but that's okay, especially with the way it ends up. You'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. It's going to be just fine. So I will continue to do this all the way down, and you get the basic gist of it. And you can obviously cut your paper, you know, a little bit faster than this, where you know you get it all cut, and then I don't know. I just sometimes, you know, you like to do things the hard way, and that is what this project was for me. Nothing but the hard way. And then I'm going to just start trimming it down with an X-Acto knife. And we're going to go back and forth, actually. You'll see in a minute. I do some with an X-Acto knife, then I do some with a little sandpaper. I use my finger sander. The little curly things of whatever they're called, they just, oh my goodness, they just did not want to work with me when I needed it to. And I did, before I started doing all the cutting and sanding and everything, I did put Mod Podge on top and let it dry completely before I did any of this. So I'm basically trying to make cuts in wherever the paper is and the tree is not. So I have somewhere for it to go. I don't really know if that helped or not, but so then what I did is I got frustrated and I started using sandpaper and I was just like, whatever, and just started roughing it up. And I was like, nope, I like that. It was a good accident because it was like taking forever to get all of the little pieces off. But it's like I said, it ended up being okay. I'm going to just go through and rough it all up, pull it off or cut off any of the little pieces that are kind of hanging out, that don't, that don't end up going where you want them to, which for me was this entire darn project, but it's okay. It's going to be okay. And I think I used a little bit harsher of a grit paper as well. It tore off some spots, but I was like, you know what? It's going to be shabby chic, so it's okay. It's all right if it's a little messy, right? All right, now I've got the antique wax from Folk Art, and I'm just going to go all around giving a good, decent amount of brushing. I mean, I was like, you know what? This thing is already looking pretty distressed. So what's a little bit more, right? What's a little bit more with the antique wax? Oh, goodness, this tree, though. I tell you what, you guys will have to let me know what has been your most recent, like, problem child project, because this one gave me some trouble. Once I've gotten all of that done, we're going to go ahead and take some brushed gold, brushed metal, I think is what it's called, paint, and I'm just going to go ahead and do my star. The star, I'm sure, probably would look more like a star if I had given it like points on the bottom, but I didn't want to do that, so I just went ahead and painted the whole thing. I was like, nope, that's going to be too hard. I mean, I could, you'd have to like break out the ruler and make sure it looks right. And I was like, you know what, this thing is way more on like the whimsical side as far as like the shapes. You could make this guy like pink and it'd be perfectly fine. And I am going to just go over the part on the top where it's a little star with the antique wax as well, because it needed it too. It needed to dull down some of the gold. Here's how it turned out, though. It still turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It just gave me a lot of trouble. So today I want to thank everyone for coming over and checking this out. I am Theresa, if you hadn't figured that out. And if you are new here, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. And I've got a really cool announcement. I just launched my own website where I'm selling some of my projects. I'd love for you to go check it out. But now I want to talk to you about our lovely collab today. It is with the Crafting Cousins. Them and their sweet southernness. They do so many great projects, definitely in like the shabby chic area, cottagecore, farmhouse, glam, you name it, and they will try it out or have tried it out. You are going to just be in for a treat if you haven't seen their videos before. They're going to have a video for you today as well. I believe they're doing Christmas, and I believe they're doing shabby chic. So it'll be like double inspiration for you if you're loving this like shabby chic Christmas stuff. And I'm sure it's going to be totally different. I can't wait. They have done lots of shabby chic Christmas, so definitely go check them out. We're going to get back into our projects though. So I've got this decoupage paper. It is from Decoupage Queen. And I'll leave the link for you below on the little shop that I get it from. And I'm trying this glue out for the first time. It is like an Elmer's Craft Bond glue. And the decoupage paper that I'm using is actually like a rice paper. I was like, oh, I'm into it. I don't know. This is different. This is new for me. So I just go do a pretty good coat. It's white, so it's not like, it's not like the school glue that I usually steal from my kids. And then one thing that's kind of cool is you can actually peel it off and reposition it. I don't know if it does anything in the way of like make it to where it doesn't go back on very well, because I peeled it off a couple times, but then I like reapplied the glue. But it doesn't hurt the paper. I liked that quite a bit, because like the positioning, you see here it goes. I was like, nope, that doesn't feel right. Even though I rolled it down, it still came up okay, and obviously it's going to curl a little bit, but that's okay. It worked out. But I was like, he's a little plain. Santa needs something else. So I decided to do a little key. I don't know if you guys have heard that before, where they do like the key for people who don't have, you know, a chimney. I don't have a chimney, so we're gonna make a key. I have some in my stash that are just like little iron keys, but I was like, you know what? This is new. I just got this from the little same shop I got the decoupage paper. It is an IOD mold, and it's like all keys and locks, and I'm excited about it. So I'm going to just get some clay ready. This is just like a air dry clay that I got off of Amazon. I'll link it for you below as long as I remember to. It seems to work well enough. I know IOD makes a clay that is probably better, but this is easier to get and it's a little less expensive. So I use my very technical tool there. It's like the inside like roller part of a thing of paper or something. And I rolled my clay down so it would make sure I'd get a really good like force of it down into the mold to get all that detail. And then I cut around all of the clay with my X-Acto knife. Once we do that, I just flip it over and kind of bend the mold to get it out. That is what I had seen done on IODs. Like page. YouTube, I think, yeah. Don't mind the curly head. It's in the way. I just got my hair done, so I don't feel too bad about just seeing it. And then I'm going to clean it all up with my X-Acto knife. And here it is, all dry the next day. You don't have to let it dry overnight, but I figured I may as well. I've got some Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I'm just going to do a full coat of it, and I'm just making sure I get in and get inside all of the details. Obviously it's clay, so if it's not 100% smooth, just make sure you're getting in there. Once I've done that, I'm going in with the brushed metal. I zoomed you in a little bit so you could see. And at first I was just going to do like some of the details, and then I was like, no, I'm going to do all of it. So I just go ahead and paint all over all of it. And what's cool is like if you miss some areas, you've got the black underneath, so it kind of works out pretty well, at least in my opinion. And then on the top part, there's a lot more detail. Well, top/bottom, I don't know, whatever part of the key you would call that. Not the part that goes into the door, let's say that. That has a ton of detail in it. So I am just going in, I'm trying to make sure a little bit more of the black comes through up there, just so you can really see that detail. And then I'm going to fix a little spot that I thought was a little too gold that you couldn't see, you know, all the detail. And I'll layer the gold back on top. It's kind of like, in my mind, that's how you get like the most realistic looking stuff, by doing different layers of different things. In my opinion, you guys let me know if you looked at that key, would you, at the end of this at least, would you say it was made out of clay? I don't think so. I don't think I would say that. And then I'm taking some antique wax, and I'm just going to do a little bit, you know, a little brushing of that over everything, because I really wanted to like knock down the shininess. It's not too shiny because it's on top of the black, but you get the idea. And I need, of course, more antique wax all around on the frame and on the inside part of the frame. And if I didn't mention it earlier, I did the wood tint from Folk Art in the color gray on this. I just did one coat. You can definitely do multiple coats, and it's really, really pretty when you mix the gray wood tint along with the walnut wood tint, where you get like a grayish brown. It's kind of perfect, and I kind of just want to mix them together and make them a happy, you know, happy little baby, a happy, you know, wood tint baby out of them, but I haven't yet. So now I've got my key. It's all dry. The paint dries super fast on it, and I'm going to just add some hot glue, push it down into the corner. I kind of like made it think like, oh, it's just kind of leaning here in the corner. And I cleaned up the hot glue, and I added a little hanger on the back too, just so it could hang up on something. And there it is though. It's all done. I really like the way this one turned out too. It'll be on my shop though, if you guys want to go check it out. I'll have it linked below. Alright, and I've got just this printable that I have. I have it available for you if you guys would like it. It's kind of cool that it's already got that aged look to it. It's just an 8x10. I printed it out on a piece of cardstock so it would be easier to glue. Cut out my circles. These are, I want to say, a 3-inch circle. And then I'm going to take some hairspray, And that was as a suggestion from my subscribers. I had a smearing ink problem on one video some time back, and that was the suggestion, and it worked perfectly. So thank you to everyone who mentioned that. I'm gonna put down my Mod Podge, and then I'll just put my little round music sheet on top. And I'm going to use this brayer, sorry, had a moment there, as more so to get it like pushed down more than it is to get air bubbles out. I didn't have an air bubble problem because of the thicker paper. I take my little X-Acto knife. It's not really an X-Acto knife, it's just easier to call it that. It's kind of like a Xerox machine. Unless you're on the younger side of the spectrum watching this video, you may not know what that is. But anyways, it is a craft knife. I am just cleaning it up for the most part. I tried just to use sandpaper, but because of how thick the cardstock is, it wasn't working for me. So after I used the X-Acto knife, craft knife, whatever, I used some sandpaper just to clean it up and make sure I get that really nice round edge. Otherwise, if you just use the craft knife, it's hard to get that good round look. I've got some poster letters from Dollar Tree, and I did 3 of these little rounds, so I am just going to put it down and make the word joy. You can make whatever you would like. You can print out multiple pages of the music notes and make whatever little thing you would like. And I had some wood stuck in there. That little handy dandy tool is called a crop-a-dial. There's a P at the end. I kept calling it a crocodile one day, and I was like, I think it's not right. I don't think that that's what it's called. It's a crop-a-dial. I'll link it for you below. I've got lots of fun Amazon stuff down there if you guys ever want to check it out. And I'm going to just take a little bit of lace I had left over from another project that I had done. Not enough to really like save it and know I'm going to use it on something big, but it's kind of perfect in this instance. And I'm going to do that with all 3. And I will take the beaded garland. This is from the Dollar Tree, and I kind of count out, it didn't really matter because it still wasn't right and I had to fix it after, but I kind of counted out like 20 and tried to do it where this quasi even all the way around. Like I said, it didn't really matter, but once we're done adding all of them, here they are. That's how they turned out. I think they're super cute. I can't wait to add more detail to it though. All right, last one, super quick and easy. This is like not an IOD sponsored video, but I'm using a lot of their products today. I'm taking these little knob stamps. I was trying different ways of doing it. It's definitely much easier just to stamp the, with the ink pad on the stamp. But I just pressed those into these little wood rounds, and I did 3 of them, and then I have this flower sack from Dollar Tree. It is gigantic. When I bought it originally, I did not expect it to be quite so big. So I'm just going to tear off a little piece of it with my scissors. I didn't want to work. And I'm going to use this to actually make these like little ornaments kind of thing. I'll just push that through our hole in the wood round. I bought them like that already, made and with the little hole and all that. Tie a little knot, and there you go. It's just really cute little, ornaments that you can use on your tree at Christmas time, because it's going to be Christmas. Before you know it, it will be Christmas. I do all 3 of them, and here's how they turned out. Just super cute, nice little detail, with the stamp. Here's a look at all of our projects today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to go check out the Crafting Cousins video today as well. I'm sure you're going to love it. I can't wait to go check it out myself. And I'll have a lot of these items and more from other videos listed in my website if you want to check them out. I would love it if you would. And I will see you guys next time.